I'm Mark Schnitzer, scientific co-founder of Inscopix, and on behalf of all of our colleagues at Inscopix, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. We very much appreciate all of your coming to be with us today. Many of you have flown in from quite a distance. I think this is going to be an exciting meeting. We have groups of people that don't tend to get together very regularly from different sectors of the neuroscience research community. As Kunal said, we have people here from the government, from academic labs, from pharmaceutical companies, from neurotechnology foundations. We have members of the investment community here. We have large companies, small companies, representatives from information technology, and we have representatives from several of the major international brain initiatives, scientific journals, and also popular media. So I think it's going to be a very exciting and productive day. We're going to be sharing ideas, recent progress, and perhaps new concepts for novel ways of working together. Our focus will be on neural circuits, and there's been great excitement about the progress and the promise of neural circuits. And in large part due to this, there has spawned the Brain Initiative not only in the United States, but also some very exciting large-scale efforts in multiple other countries. We're very pleased to have people from these efforts here with us today. The promise of neural circuits research and the new technologies that we can bring to bear on the study of brain function promise to give us greater knowledge, new principles for understanding neural circuit dynamics, both in healthy and diseased brains. And I tend to think that many of us would agree that what we need is a reconceptualization, new ways of thinking about how the brain works both in health and disease. What we might need is a new type of mechanistic understanding. Mechanistic understanding not just at the level of genes or molecules, but also circuit-based mechanisms, so we can understand normal patterns of information processing in the brain circuits and how these patterns may need to be retuned in brain disease and disorders. So we're going to be asking new kinds of questions regarding neural circuits that perhaps have never been posed before. When I think back to my own time in graduate school, I remember the great excitement when some of the very first papers came out showing that you could record the activity of 40 neurons simultaneously. And as I said yesterday to the DECODE awardees at the retreat, part of that excitement was that people felt that we were going to be able to ask new questions about how neurons work together. That was true in a couple instances, but in fact, the majority of the studies asked similar kinds of questions at the single cell level, but with more data. Now today, we can routinely record the dynamics of thousands of neurons, genetically specified, in awake behaving animals. And yet, somewhat paradoxically, not all, but most studies are still asking questions of the same ilk that we have pursued collectively for many, many years. So perhaps we need to ask new questions. As powerful as it is, hypothesis-driven experimentation does have obvious limitations, which is that you can only pose hypotheses about phenomena whose existence you already know. So perhaps we need to begin letting the data tell us what's important. Perhaps we need approaches such as data mining or unsupervised learning methods that may help us uncover the fundamental phenomena in the brain that underlie different brain states, different mental states, different modes of behavior. Food for thought that we can discuss today. As we think about the new approaches that we might take to tackle the challenge of understanding brain circuits, I'd like to also challenge the audience to help us collectively identify the major scientific and technological roadblocks, but also hurdles in the ecosystem. Perhaps we need to consider different modes of working together, and given the fact that there are so many different sectors across the world of brain research gathered here today, perhaps we need to think about new modes of interaction and collaboration that just have not been tried yet to overcome the challenges of these different types. So this will be our theme for the day, thinking about neural circuits and what we need to address in the years ahead. We're going to start things off with the keynote panel that'll set the tone for our conversations. It'll take a look at the value, the promise, and the challenge of neural circuits. Subsequently, we'll have scientific presentations by a subset of the DECODE awardees and other scientific leaders. In the afternoon, we'll have some breakout sessions and reports regarding your ideas and new approaches to tackle the challenges that we face, scientific and ecosystem level challenges. And then to close, we'll have the capstone address by Tom Insall. So I hope that all of you will both contribute and take away much. We hope to have candid and intense discussion. And in our highest hopes, we hope to identify new modes that we can all work together in this very exciting era of neural circuits.